does it do, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Scotty Says. I am your host, and welcome to episode 105. 105, my folks. 105, and although I have no use for numerology, 105 also happens to be the Rams' record on this NFL season. 105. One dub out of 5 games. And so at 1-4 now, the Rams have mercifully reached their bye. And I have to tell you that this is not a shock to me, the record. In fact, I hope you've been following along the episode after the Cardinals drubbing. I told you then and there that it would be extremely shocking to me if the Rams reached the bye at anything above 1-4. And they did not. The only real mild surprise was how they got the one. I suspected that they would be able to go out on the road and get a dub against the toothless Bears in Chicago. But no. They got gummed by the Bears. So it was not the Chicago game where they got the sole victory of the season. It was against them damn Niners and Father Shanahan. And so that one was a bit of a surprise, but in the end, the record is still the same, 1-4, and I'm actually relieved that the bye has finally hit. I hear they keep asking Coach McWonder, do you think the bye is coming at a good time for your team? And I don't know if the bye is coming at a good time for the Rams, but it is coming at a good time for me because I hope you've been following along. I have put together several epic episodes. We've got a lot to get to. Let's get right to it. Now, I want to ask, first of all, if you heard it the last day or two. Do you hear it? Very quiet. Well, I mean, amongst the McWonder apologists. Very quiet. Amongst the cult of McWonder. Very quiet. Haven't heard much. They went radio silent, didn't they? The ferret, not a peep. See, that's what these experts do, right? They give you all this grandiose pomposity, and then when it's all wrong, they just walk away from it as if it never was said, as if they never uttered a word. Very quiet. And so now, with the Rams sitting at 1-4, there is very little evidence to support any of these outlandish claims that were being made about the guru status of Coach McWonder. And I went through it point by point in the case against McWonder last episode, so I don't have to reiterate all of that here now. But if you are on the McWonder cult conveyor belt, why, you can't, there's nothing to praise, and you are incapable of any McWonder criticism, and so the only alternative left for you is be very quiet. Who said what? Who? So they eliminate all the McWonder segments from their platforms. They say nothing. And that's fair. Because there's nothing that can be said when I have shown you episode after episode the real. That's why you come here. You get the real here. Well, fair enough, I'm on the outskirts of the city, but I wonder if my message perhaps may be starting to spread. I even wonder maybe if Coach McWonder himself hasn't gotten a bit of it, by osmosis. Because, my folks, I have to tell you, we are gathered here today not to praise McWonder, but neither to bury him. No, because in the loss to Green Bay, I saw some very interesting developments. And I am going to present in this episode for the first time a new segment, the McGenius Spotlight of the Week. But as we know now, it's a zero-sum game, L's and dubs, dubs and L's, and, well, Coach McWonder has another big fat L on his head. And, in reality, this time the football gods conspired against him. I mean, when he beat his dada, Father Shanahan, the football gods were with him. And against Green Bay and his protege, Coach LaFleur, the football gods said, "We give it, today we take it away." And as I say, it's probably fair because, he got the one against his dada. So it all evens out, and 1-4, that's what the Rams are. That's what they deserve to be. They're a bottom rung team in the NFL, but not because of what the Ferret and the Lemmings would have you believe, not because of personnel or because of injuries. It's because of poor decision making. And I went through that last episode in the case. But this episode, I want to highlight a positive. And there is some cause for optimism. It may be misplaced, I grant you that, because Coach McWonder has shown a consistent tendency to backslide, to Motown backslide. And so just when you think he's on the right path, he'll come follow that up with bad McWonder. There's good McGenius and bad McWonder. And see, honestly, what it is, my folks, is that the accolades and the hype and the praise, while he deserves plenty of praise for his accomplishments, they gave it to him too fast, too much. It was too fast, too furious. It was too soon. They elevated your favorite head coach of the LA Rams. They elevated him to the elite status. They put him with Belichick and the Fat Man, Big Red, Andy Reid. They and you saw when the Rams went to their first Super Bowl under Coach McWonder against Belichick and the Pats. Oh boy, they looked horrific. One of the worst Super Bowls I think ever played. And Coach McWonder said after the game, well, Coach Belichick, he outcoached me. You don't say. Yeah. But he got one. The one he got, it was a glorious one. The football gods were with him with Tart and them damn Niners. He got past his dada. He got to the bowl, the Super Bowl at at the Palace in LA, a home Super Bowl. And just think, my folks, how the Kansas City team with Mahomie, Big Red, Andy Reid, who I just spoke of, that team, well, they're vying for their third straight Super Bowl, a feat no team has ever accomplished. A coach of such a team would deserve to be in the stratosphere of coaches. Not McWonder, he's not there. There are lots of coaches with one Super Bowl. You got to get multiples, McG, and he's young, and hopefully he will. But you've got coaches like the Fat Man, Andy Reid, and I saw him in the Monday night game, this last Monday night game. 4 tight ends, 1 running back. He had 3 tight ends bunched, trips left, and 1 tight end split wide right. And one of the bunch tight ends was Kelsey, who caught the Mahomie pass for a first down. And I said, now that is ingenuity. That's next level. KC can beat you in all these different ways. They can run when they need to run. They can throw. They can short game you. They got speed. They got consistency in the leadership positions. Remember, Coach McWonder, he's starting over with new coordinators all the time. But look, Andy Reid, him and Spags, they've been there together for a long time now, like a marriage. And you add in Mahomie, well deserved. They should be praised. The Rams are on that's a whole other ballgame. Okay? The Rams are bottom feeders. That's just what it is. They're at the bottom of all the statistical categories. And the one that matters most of all, their record, the bottom. We're going to go over the numbers, of course, and we'll look around the league a little bit, but the case is well made and clear, my folks. And so, I actually felt sorry for the Golden Boy in the post game after the Green Bay loss. I did. I am not usually in the habit of feeling sorry for multimillionaires who have a halo deity effect around them, all the credit, none of the blame. I usually don't feel sympathy for such, but I felt for him in the post game. And the reason, my folks, is because I think he must have seen my last episode 104, the case against McWonder. He must have seen it, or it must have been exposed to him, because all of the points that I outlined, all of my exhibits, he addressed them this game. He tried to. Okay, you could say that's a coincidence if you like. That's fine. No. I won't get a hard-boiled egg. I know that. So because of what I saw in that Green Bay game, because I saw the play caller show discipline, he showed patience, he showed commitment, resolve. The coach stayed out of the book of McWonder. He stayed out of it as much as I've seen him, and I don't know when. Time and again, where he would normally follow the Book of McWonder pattern, he changed it up. And I give him credit for it, kudos for it. So, after making such a dedicated, committed, resolute change in the game against Green Bay, for him to still come out of that with that L on his head, I know it hurt him. Because for the first time this year, he really tried to do all the right things, the sound things, the fundamental things. I understand why it hurts him. But you've created this scenario now where now you've got to try and dig yourself out of it. And you're going to have to apply this same dedication and resolve, commitment. You're going to have to do that now more than just a game. You're going to have to do it consistently. And I know, I heard them. He has a weekly press conference that he does, and he's got the little sign over his head. He's into the acronyms, right? So he has a sign over his head, which, because he's doing a video call, everyone can see the sign and the acronym. It's FAST, F-A-S-T. And for him, that means fast. It means fundamental, fundamentally sound. F. A. Accountable, accountability. S. Situational football. And T. Team first. See, F-A-S-T, fast. And I'm like, well, that's cute and everything. It's, a little juvenile. But the thing is, though, you are the opposite of fundamentally sound. So your whole acronym is bogus. Maybe we should give him a new acronym for FAST. How about frequently out of balance? How about always throwing? How about S, F-A-S-T, S? Seriously out of balance. And T, tired of this madness. That's fast. I saw in that KC game, my homie had a 2nd and 34. They had gotten backed up with some issues. They had a 2nd and 34. And do you know they converted it? Well, they went 2nd and 34, and then they went 3rd and 22, right? They did like a hook and ladder kind of play to get it to 4th and 1, and then carried that first down from 2nd and 34 to a 4th and 1, and they converted it. And I'm like, they're next level. That's why they are defending 2-time champions. They are undefeated in their quest for an unprecedented 3rd Super Bowl championship, and they're 5-0. They are next level. Heap all that praise on Andy Reid. Heap it on my homie, but you got to stop this madness with McWonder. McWonder's got a lot of learning and growing and developing still to do. And that is not a slight. I still say Coach McGenius is the best coach the Rams have ever had in any location, St. Louis or LA or Cleveland or wherever they've been. And he, if he can get off the schneid, he will be the Rams' most winningest coach in franchise history very shortly. But two things can be true at once. And because what I've just said is true does not mean that this man deserves to be absolved from criticism or responsibility. So when you hang up a banner over your head for the press conference where you're touting accountability, then take it. Because I heard him in the presser. It sounded to me like he was floating a possible excuse that the McWonder coaches could latch on to. He started talking about youth, the youth of the team, the youthful mistakes. And I'm like, no, coach, don't do that. Don't try to put blame elsewhere. Look at yourself. And youth, well, the team that just beat you, Green Bay, they're younger than you are. They're younger than you, and they're 3-2 and right in the mix. They lost their quarterback for 2 games, right in the mix. They kept right on winning. And now LaFleur has whooped you 5 out of 5, 5-0. Why do you think that your protege can whoop you 5 out of 5? You think maybe because he also has read the book? I told you. These guys got the book, and LaFleur, he knows the book very well. And so I have been coming to you episode after episode, and I have been touting the viability, the efficacy, the success rate of the 25-30 principle. And I'll just tell you right here and now, before we ever get to the numbers, that it is still golden. It held true yet again. All you had to do was watch the game, but I got the numbers. We'll look at the numbers together. And so when I see the kind of success that they're having in KC with that coach and his coordinator and the quarterback, and then I look at the Rams, it's like, whoo-hoo, there is a precipitous fall off. There's really no comparison. Imagine, if you will, were the Rams to come upon a 2nd and 34. What do you think they would convert it? Or do you think more likely you'd get 2nd and 34, and then there'd be holding 2nd and 44, and then there'd be a sack 2nd and 3rd and 54, and then there'd be a poltergeist strike or something. So they'd be moonwalking backwards. Shamon. I've said all this, and it paints a gloomy picture, and 1 and 4 is gloomy. Gloomy as hell. And people say, well, hey, they were, remember now, they were 3-6 at the bye last year. They were. Another poor start, and here is yet another point to consider. Since that Super Bowl, and that Super Bowl pulled me in, I said, I've got to be a part of it. I want to buy in. And I became a season ticket holder for that Super Bowl defense season, and it was atrocious. And right away, I knew something was wrong. Stinky. The opening game of that Super Bowl defense season, I know because I was there, was against Buffalo. And who did the Rams run out in 11 personnel as their starting wide receiver trio? It was Soup. It was Allen Buster Brown Robinson. They dispatched Bobby Trees. Robert Woods, they sent him away for a ham sandwich and brought in Allen Buster Brown Robinson. $30 million, I believe it was. And the third wide receiver in the trio, Soup, Buster Brown, and the stone-handed one, Stoney. And you've trotted this out to try to defend a championship? I said, oh no, there are problems down here. And there were issues, and McGenius was feuding with Cam the Grill Akers. Remember all of this stuff that was going on? 5-12, and then the following season, last season, they started out 3-6 at the bye. 3-6, and I give them credit. After the bye, they went 7-1. And they had to if they were going to make the playoffs, and they did. And you got to give them credit. 7-1, that's a hell of a run. And then there they were. This is his finest coaching performance ever, right? And I kept warning, unless you repent, unless you pivot and embrace principles of fundamental football, you go out there to Detroit with your wildly out of balance self, and the Lions will take care of you. And they did, just as I warned. And they've only won one game since that playoff loss, and that was the football gods intervening. And remember, Matthew Stafford intervening. Kill. Or are they saying can? Whatever it was the quarterback audibling out of all those pass plays and in the run plays, and the football gods intervening, and they pulled out that dub against them damn Niners. And that's the only victory they've had. So, after the bye this year, could they do a similar thing? People are saying, maybe they could do the same thing. Well, the odds of that must be very slim. I'd say slim to none that they can duplicate that kind of a run. At 1-4, there are 12 games remaining, and I'll take a look at the Rams' remaining games. But for them to run that gauntlet to get to a playoff berth, I would be astounded. I don't believe that will happen. Although you get Soup back after the bye, you get Steve Avila back after the bye. Maybe, I don't know when Puka comes back, but, you do get some reinforcements back. And if what I saw in the game plan against Green Bay, if he adopts this, if he really internalizes this and uses that and follows the formula I've been sending him, who knows? But the odds that all those things happen, slim to none. So, let's not take up any more time. Let's go ahead and get right into it. The game analysis. Now, LA had no new offensive inactives, and so the LA starting lineup remains consistent. That offensive line that has been the source of so much consternation. Well, 3 consecutive games now, the same starting offensive line. And so you have at right tackle, Rob Havenstein, the staple, the lone St. Louis Ram. At right guard, Kevin Dotson came in last year, took the spot, working beautifully. At center, Bo Limmer, the rookie. Now, he was pressed into duty due to injuries on the line, but he's holding his own. I don't see a major drop-off right now with Bo Limmer at center. And then you got your left guard. You got Logan Bruce, and he's holding his own. And then your left tackle, Alaric Jackson. And Alaric Jackson really solidified that left tackle spot since the departure of Big Whit. So, to start the game out, McGenius, after a 3-and-out by Green Bay, McGenius in his preferred 11 personnel. We've gone over the offensive line, the tight end, Kobe Parkinson, You've got your quarterback, of course, Matthew Stafford, Doctor Who, Matty from the D. You've got your running back, of course, Kyron Williams, K-Will, and your 3 wide receivers. Well, with the injuries, now you've got the Demarcus Robinson. You've got the rookie, Jordan Whittington, who was the leading receiver for the Rams on the day this game. And, of course, you've got who is now making his presence felt every game. And McGenius, as you know now, I've sent you the message. You've got to take the top off with Tutu every game, at least once, preferably once per half. And it looks like he's trying to do that. So kudos there. And so I see Tutu in motion. First play is a run play. And it was actually Matty audibly out of a pass play into a run. K-Will gets a tote. Small gain, just a yard or 2. Second down from the gun. Matty hits Kobe Parkinson. Pickup of 3. And so we got a 3rd and 3. And so from the gun, incomplete. And the Rams return the favor and go 3 and out. And they are punting. Green Bay, the Pack, and their quarterback, Mr. Lover Man. He takes the Pack on a 90-plus yard drive, and they punch it in, and it's highlighted by this bomb over the top, Mr. Lover, and it's 7-0 Green Bay. And so the Rams get the ball back, and they're trailing in the first half, which is per usual with these Rams. And so the offense goes to work. And I want to say that, the plays that McGenius devises, I got to give him credit for the beauty of the design. For example, it's first down. The Rams are from their 25-yard line, and Matty is under center. And Tutu goes in motion, and then there's play action, and so there's this misdirection, and so it's eye candy. And there's so much going on. And then he goes right to the motion man, Tutu for 8, and it's beautiful to watch. And then right behind that play, he comes back, McGenius does, with another beautiful play. It's 2nd and 2, and Tutu in motion again. And it's play action, but they're not really biting because he hasn't been running the ball that much early. But Tutu sits in the seam, and it's a big 25-yard completion against the zone. And so, the offense, once again, is moving the ball. So here, it's first down now. It's 1st and 10. It's the Green Bay 37. And Matty, once again, under center, kill, or can. They're killing the play. He's killing the pass play and audibling into a run. And he hands the ball off to K-Will, who pops one for 30 yards. And K-Will's looking twitchy, hitting the holes hard, jump cut, shifty. And I'm at this point in time, I'm like, there you go, Matty. Keep doing what you're doing. If McGenius doesn't want to call runs, you call them. And so now it's 1st and goal at the 8 now. See, and here it is. There's the crucible again for McGenius. His problem seems to be he does not want to score touchdowns unless he chucks them in. So it's 1st and goal at the 8. Did he see my last episode? Well, maybe he did, because on 1st and goal from the 8, it's a pitch, a run, K-Will, and, it's 2nd and goal. And now it's from the 6. And as if McWonder paid attention, studied my last episode, The Case Against McWonder, as if he said, I'm going to show that guy on the outskirts that I don't have to play the way I've been playing. He runs it again, right up the gut, he runs it again, and I like the mindset here, and I'm complimenting McWonder from afar, and I'm like, yes, this is it. Now the playbook is wide open here. 3rd and goal. It's 3rd and goal from the 4, and if you want to let him chuck it, you can, because you got the defense a little off balance. And so Matty in the gun with protection, and Kobe Parkinson, I'm going to call him CP, he goes in motion, and well, Matty incomplete for CP. And so now it's 4th and goal. 4th and goal from the 4. And I'll be honest, my folks, I've started to bet against McWonder's tendencies. So I expect there's going to be field goals. So I took a little money on Cardi getting a field goal or two. And well, wouldn't you know it, McGenius, he has choose the field goal in this scenario. And I'll be honest with you, I don't fault him for it. You need to score touchdowns in the red zone. And so these field goals, I guess McWonder said, I've had enough. I've got to punch it in. Well, so 4th and goal from the 4. They're going to go for it. But the thing is, what will be the play? I don't mind you going for it, but what will be the play? Well, damn. As it turned out, they ran, in essence, the same failed play to Kobe Parkinson in the back of the end zone. They ran it, but sort of from the other direction, like they reversed it, and they still came up with the same result, incomplete, turnover on downs. And so, for not devising a more effective play call on 4th and goal, and for essentially using the same play from the other side, which failed the play before, and for eschewing the field goal, and for costing me money on that field goal, I have to classify this sequence as a McSquander. Category McSquander level. Okay? And so Green Bay gets the ball back, but they're pinned deep. And so they end up going 3 and out, and they have to kick, and the Rams get the ball right back. And so LA takes over on their own 45-yard line, and well, look who it is in the backfield. See what I mean, my folks, about maybe he has been made aware of the episode, the case against McWonder, because who is in the backfield? Why, it's number 22, Blake Corum. Is he hearing? Is he hearing me? 22, Blake Corum, I'm going to call him Deuces. And Deuces looks sharp. Deuces is jump cutting. He looks twitchy. I'm telling you, the Rams have a nice backfield. They got some horses in that stable. I like Ronnie Rivers. I like Blake Corum. And I like K. Will. In fact, I love K. Will. And so, listen, you got running backs. You got horses. You got wide receivers. You've got tight ends. You've got a decent O-line. You've got a quarterback. So all of this about you don't have personnel, that's nonsense. It's hogwash. But now here's that tendency we talked about, right? The Rams are driving, moving the ball. But mistakes emanating from the pass game, right? 1st and 10, McGenius is throwing, and Hunter Long is called for false start. And so it's 1st and 15 now. And, well, now you're behind the sticks. And so, I mean, the Book of McWonder does stipulate when you're behind the sticks, you must throw. And so, from the pistol, 2-2 for 4. And then screen to Blake Corum, and that gets you a few. And so now we got 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3 from the Green Bay 41. And, well, to start the second quarter, I'm intrigued by this situation. It's 3rd and 3. And I'm wondering, will he stay out of the book of McWonder? And he does. Coming back, start the second quarter. McWonder on a 3rd and 3. He goes away from his book of McWonder and he hands the ball off to K. Will. And K. Will damn near converts a first down, but it's 4th and inches. 4th and inches. And again, here, I agree with McWonder's decision to go for it, but I'm thinking you better run. You better run. And he does. He runs on 4th down. You see, my folks, do you see the growth? Do you see the change? Do you see the evolution? He's running on 3rd down. He's running on 4th down, and he's having success, as I told him he would. Now, the Rams are driving, and McWonder, he's starting to come out of that book. And so, staying on the ground, K. Will gets another tote. 7 more yards. It's 2nd and 3. But this time, Matty audibles out of the run call into a pass. Okay, you give him that, but it wasn't a good decision because the pass is incomplete. And now it's 3rd and 3, my folks. It's 3rd and 3 from the Green Bay 24, and Romo on the broadcast blurts out, "Oh, I'm sure they're passing here." Well, I mean, if you know anything about McWonder, we all think he's passing here. 3rd and 3 from the Green Bay 24, and what does McWonder do? He fools us all. He shocks us, to be perfectly honest with you, because he doesn't pass. He runs. I have to highlight it now. He runs. And it's a first down. K. Will gets the carry against that Green Bay pass rush. Fools them. Fools everybody, including LeFleur. And now, first down. And McGenius, staying out of the book, gives K. Will another tote for 11 more. And almost as if to prove, to demonstrate that he had changed his ways, that he was coming around, that he was becoming a new man, he handed the ball off yet again. Yet again! This time it was 2-2. 2-2 on the end around for 8 more. Now it's 2nd and 2. 2nd and 2 from the 8. And what does McWonder do? No. Say it ain't so. Yes. He hands the ball to Blake Corum, hands it to him, and he carries it for 4 more, and now it's a 1st and goal. 1st and goal, and this is his crucible. You know this is his test. 1st and goal, and he's already run consecutive times, and what is he going to do? He's going to run again. He had to have seen the episode, my folks. He must have. 4 consecutive runs inside the 10-yard line, and now it's 3rd and goal. You're at the 1. You gotta let K. Will have this tote. You must. I insist. You must, and he does. He lets him tote it across. Touchdown, Rams. Touchdown, LA. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I've been talking about, my folks. You see what you can accomplish when you can run the ball like that? When the defense is on their heels, when they're moonwalking backwards, your O-line is firing off the ball, aggressive power, and the running backs are hitting the holes and making those jump cuts, and they are doing what they're supposed to do, and you just scored, sir. 3 consecutive runs inside the 10. 3 straight runs in goal-to-goal scenarios. What? McWonder? I said, this man is turning the corner. We're making progress. And I said, you keep doing this, you're going to start flipping those L's to dubs. This is what I've been preaching about, my folks. I said, run the ball in the red zone. I said, run the ball on 1st and goal. Run the ball on 2nd and goal. Run the ball on 3rd and goal. And he did it. He did it. He listened. And he got the results. So I must give credit where it's due. And this has been, I'm delighted to announce, this has been your McGenius Spotlight Sequence of the Year. Kudos, Coach. Kudos. And so now the Los Angeles defense seems energized. They're watching this. They see what's going on. And so they come back out on the field, flying around. And with the help of a Green Bay penalty, the Pack quickly goes 3 and out. And the Rams get the ball right back for their 4th series of the game. It's before halftime. It's 3:49 left in the second quarter, and Matty has the ball, and he's dropped back the pass, and he's sacked, and he's grazing on SoFi turf. And, well, this sack, it came on a 3rd and 16 from the Green Bay 35. You see what I mean? When you juxtapose that against KC, they had a 3rd and 16 from the Green Bay 35. You're in field goal range, and I already told you I've got a little change on some field goal action. But because Matty is sacked, they're out of field goal range. See, you're in my pocket now, McWonder. And at this point, I just say out loud, just a little more attention to detail by the coach and the quarterback would be greatly appreciated here. Matty, throw it away, and you're still in field goal range. You cannot take a sack in that scenario. McWonder, a run play. Just run the ball up the gut and kick the field goal. That's practical, sound, fundamental football. He's still got learning left to do. And so because they take that sack, because they are out of field goal range now, I feel a little bit of frustration. But I have to give the Rams defense some credit here. And so now I'd like to do something that I very rarely do. I'd like to spotlight the Rams defensive sequence at this point. It's 1st and 10 from the Green Bay 10. Green Bay with the ball, and well, they try a little wide receiver screen, but it only gets a couple of yards. But then there's a false start penalty on the Pack, and so they're backed up. So it's 2nd and 12 now, right? So it's 2nd and 12 now from the 8, from their own 8. And at that point in the broadcast, Jim Nance, I believe it was, mentions that Green Bay, they had a 96-yard touchdown drive, and then the other drives were all 3 and outs, 4 3 and outs. And so the Rams defense has been playing well. That's another source of frustration for McWonder, that the defense has been trying to hold its own. And here we are now, 2nd and 12 from the 8. And so Mr. Loverman is in the shotgun, and the Rams blitz. They send the blitz, and Curl bats down the pass. 3rd and 12 from the 8. 3rd and 12 from the Green Bay 8. And Mr. Lover tries to roll toward the back pylon of his own end zone. He's rolling and fading, and the blitz comes. He heats him up. It's 0. Byron Young coming loose, and it was like Mr. Lover couldn't see him. He didn't see him. That pressure from the left, and he hits him. And, well, Mr. Loverman, in an attempt to try to get rid of it, throws what Jim Nance on the broadcast called a mindless pass. It was an awful pass. It was a bad decision. And so the ball is up, and it is poltergeist strike. Poltergeist strike. Polty in the building. Touchdown Rams. Touchdown LA. And now I'm thinking, McWonder, you play fundamental football. Stay in your fundamentals. Keep doing what you've been starting to do now. You can get this game. But then, right on the heels of that big pick 6, Cardi comes in and misses the extra point. I'm like, uh-oh. That's 2 weeks in a row now with Cardi. Missed field goal a week ago, missed extra point today. And so it's only 13-7 Rams. And then a defensive penalty gives Green Bay a 1st down when they should have had to kick it away. And that mistake allows Mr. Lover Man to drive the pack into field goal range, and they put one through. And so at halftime, it ends up being 13-10. LA still with that first halftime lead of the season. Sheesh. Oh, LA, despite a couple mistakes, they got control of the game for the most part. And they come out the third quarter, they come out running. It feels like LA has the game in hand. All you got to do is just keep going in this direction. But as you know, that's not how it played out. And so the game ends up turning on a dime. And it happened in the third quarter, so let's just go through it quickly. The Rams come out running, they're moving the ball. Everything is looking lovely. Green Bay's biting on the play fakes. Everything's clicking. LA comes out running with K. Will to start the third quarter. K. Will for 6, and then play action, and they're biting now. They're biting on the play action. Complete to Whittington, wide open, and then right back to K. Will for 4 more, 2nd and 6, and then another one, a pitch to K. Will, and then, oh no, he coughs it up. K. Will, ball out, fumble, and the pack recovers. And so here, this is where it begins, the demise of the Rams. That fumble, so critical. Because as you know now, we discussed the Book of McWonder extensively. You know that when Coach McWonder experiences a mistake, a setback in the run game, he goes away from it. That's just his instinctive way. And I was afraid that he was going to do this in this case because he had been so disciplined and so patient and so committed to it. And I didn't want for that 1K Will mistake to cause McGenius to flip. But it was a big turning point because Green Bay immediately took the ball, capitalized, punched in a touchdown. And I mean, it was a broken play in the secondary. The tight end got loose 66 yards down the sideline. And now Green Bay takes the lead. It's 17-13 Green Bay, but I don't fault McWonder for this. He was doing the right thing, doing what he was supposed to do. And his running back coughed it up, and it was K. Will's first fumble of the year. And so, I mean, it's just one of those things that it happened. And so this caused the initial pivot in the game. And with Green Bay capitalizing, McGenius gets the ball back, and now he's trailing, and that's another point in the Book of McWonder, because when he's trailing, his inclination is chuck it. There's been a mistake out of the run game. Chuck it. So I was very concerned, but he still, again, surprised me. No, he didn't eschew the run. He didn't deviate from it. Coach McGenius went right back to the run. K. Will gets a tote for 5, 2nd and 5. And then from the gun, Matty, he gets walloped, and he throws a deep one for Tutu. And I thought it was pass interference here, but there was no flag. So it's 3rd and 5. And then Matty, again, out of the gun, he buys time. He finds the tight end, CP, Kobe Parkinson, 1st down. Then Matty kills the pass. Whichever it may be. K. Will gets a tote. And so it's now 2nd and 7. And Matty hits the X-Man. He hits Smith for another 1st down. But then, after 2 consecutive incompletions, see, here it is. You're moving the ball, you're showing balance, but then you went incomplete, and now it's 3rd down. And Matty is in empty gun. I have to point out now, he's in empty gun. And you know, there seems to be an issue, a mistake that comes out of that. Well, he's throwing deep into double coverage out of the empty gun. And no! No, say it ain't so. No. Yes, poltergeist strike. The poltergeist is in the building, haunting the palace for sure. And so now, you had a fumble when you were behaving with principle. You turn the ball over and they score. And then you come back and you're trying to stay balanced, but you're starting to panic a little bit. And Matty, he's trying to keep it together, but now he's going because you get out of kilter when you see a deficit. And so now he's trying to hit these chunk plays. He's getting walloped. Maybe does Matty get concussed? I don't know what's going on. But what I do know is off that turnover, off that poltergeist strike, Green Bay converts another 7 points. Points off turnovers. And now, essentially, the Rams were cooked. Those 14 points off turnovers doomed the Rams. And what it also did, it stripped away any remaining illusion that there may have been that Mr. McWonder would stay balanced and run the ball. On multiple scores, everybody knew balance was going out the window. But I don't hold him to account for this. Matty and K. Will, they failed him in this Green Bay game. His two best offensive weapons each had a massive self-destruct, a massive mistake that Green Bay cashed in. And for all intents and purposes, it was over. But even still, when they ended up getting that desperation, their final desperation touchdown, and they had to go for two, what did I say last week? If you're having success on the ground, don't always feel like you have to chuck in the two-pointer. Run the ball when you're trying to convert 2 points sometimes. Well, he did. He gave the end around to Tutu, and Tutu couldn't make the corner. So it was no good, but I feel as though he heard me somehow. And he did attempt to make the proper adjustments. I give him credit for that. And he still got that big fat L on his head, but, well, I feel empathy in this case because he did the right things. It just wasn't meant to be. And in the end, when you don't follow the principle, you know what happens. There's L's to be had for headwear. So the Rams get it to within 5, and they had the ball with a minute or so left to go in the fourth quarter, and they were out of timeouts, and it was scramble desperation time. But in the end, it wasn't meant to be. And so I don't fault McGenius for this particular L. He showed patience. He showed discipline. He showed resolve. And this gives me a sliver, a slim bit of hope that maybe somehow there can be some redemption with the Rams and their head coach. Let's just go to the numbers and get right to it. Because it's here in the numbers, as you know. Now, the Rams, they pretty much outplayed Green Bay. They had more total yards. They had more passing yards, more rushing yards. They had more first downs. They were 50% on third down, 8 of 16. Green Bay was 1 of 8. The Rams were 50% on fourth down, 2 of 4. They only punted 3 times. Penalties were about even. Both teams had a poltergeist strike, but where the difference comes in. The Rams lost 2 turnovers, a fumble and an interception, and Green Bay only lost 1. Let's apply the formula, okay? Let's look at the victors. Green Bay, Jordan Love, Mr. Lover. He was 15 for 26. Whoa, oh, hold it. 15 for 26. What does the 25-30 principle stipulate? You must cap your quarterback pass attempts to 30. No more than 30. They had 26. Well, there's the sack quotient. We got to factor in the sacks. Green Bay was sacked twice. So 2 sacks, 26 drop back pass attempts plus 2 sacks. That's a total of 28. Check. They met the metric. They kept the pass attempts under 30. What about rushing? Well, pretty sure you know they were okay there. Let's see. The running backs. Jacobs had 19 carries. Wilson had 6. That's 25 right there. And then Reed had 2. That's 27. And then even Jordan Love had 3. So they had 30 run plays. 28 passes. 28 pass attempts, 30 runs. The 25-30 principle requires a minimum of 25 run plays, 25 design runs. Green Bay had 30. Check. It requires a maximum of 30 pass plays. They had 26 plus 2 sacks. That's 28. Check. They met both metrics for the 25-30 principle, and they were balanced. The victors, you know these kind of numbers are going to belong to the victors. Let's look at the losers. The Rams. Well, Matt Stafford, 29 of 45. 29 of 45. Fail. We don't even have to go any further. You already failed. 45 pass attempts. Well, and he's not done. There were 3 sacks allowed by the Rams, so that's a total of 48 dropbacks. 48. 25-30 principle stipulates you must cap at 30 pass attempts. The Rams had 48. Run plays. Well, at least on that metric, they covered it. K. Will, 22 carries. Corum, 5. 2-2-1. That's 28 carries. So they met the threshold for run plays, but they were way out of balance. And they took that L. It's a zero-sum game. It's pass, fail. L's and dubs, dubs and L's. That's it. And so Green Bay gets a pass. They get a dub, and Mr. McWonder gets a fail, and he gets that L on his head. So let's quickly look at the Rams' schedule after the bye. Well, the first 5 after the bye. Raiders, maybe get them. Vikings, probably not. Seahawks, Dolphins, you can still get them. Patriots, so maybe you can go 3-2 out of the bye if you're fortunate. But then the next 7, the back end, it's a gauntlet. The Eagles, then the Saints, then the Bills, and then the 49ers, them damn Niners, your papa, and then COVID toe in the Jets. I believe you can get them. I don't believe in the Jets. Then the Cardinals, they drubbed you already this year, and then you finish with the Seahawks. I just don't see enough wins over those last 12 games to make up for a 1-4 start. And so the Rams, my folks, will not repeat their miraculous turnaround after the bye from last year. The Rams will not make the playoffs this year. Let's quickly look around the NFL. Well, as if you needed any further data, the Rams are 1-4 and deserve to be. They are what their record says they are. There are only 2 1-4 teams in the NFC, the Panthers and the Rams. And both teams are firmly entrenched at the bottom, statistically. The only undefeated team in the NFC is Minnesota, who, as we just mentioned, will be dealing with the Rams after the bye. In the AFC, well, KC remains undefeated. There are several 1-4 teams or teams with only one victory in the AFC. But when you dig into the numbers, you see that, well, the Rams have only scored 94 points. 94 points in 5 games. There are only 2 teams that are worse in the NFC. That's the New York Giants and the Panthers. But the Giants play decent defense, so their differential is only a -15. The Rams have allowed on defense 139 points. That's second most in the NFC. Only Carolina is worse. And so the Rams' point differential, points scored, points allowed, is -45. Once you get to -15, you're probably going to be a bad team. The Rams are triple that, -45. They belong at the bottom. And just for comparison, the Bengals. Well, the Bengals, they're 1-4 also. They have allowed a lot of points. They've allowed 145 points. But their point differential is only a -5 because they've scored 140. And so the Bengals at 1-4, by the numbers, look like a team that if any team could bounce back from a 1-4, it would be them based on their differential. I certainly don't see it in the Rams' case. That -45 is daunting. We have gone into yet another epic episode 105. And so what I'm now going to ask from you, what I need for you to do is throw me one of these. Please like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. And, well, I've thought about maybe discontinuing covering the Rams because I have a long-standing policy of not covering garbage. But I'm interested to see how the Rams respond on the other side of the bye. So I'll be back on the other side, at least initially. And we'll see how things go from there. And I've got some other content I'm working on and cooking up. And so stay tuned for that. But until then, my friends, until the next one, which won't be too long from this one, Scotty says, one love.